but I am a talker. I can talk for Africa, like I can talk for days, right? And so I guess you could call this it's a Dear Diary moment, because it's like I chat a lot in my diary, right? So I have a diary and I chat a lot in my diary. And the problem there is though that like a lot of the stuff that I would want to say, and like it's not even just personal stuff, like because I guess a lot of your diary is just for personal things, but a lot of what I want to say is genuinely just life questions or like interesting things that I notice about life. Um, and so I thought, what better way than to video diary it? Because when it comes to like writing in my diary, it just feels a little bit harder to like articulate everything that I want to say on written paper, because then I have to like make it make sense grammatically. Whereas talking, you've got, like you've got your emotions, you've got your face, you've got your actions, so it all just comes together. So it's just easier. So I guess this is a video diary, but also just a general like I feel like more people should probably ask more questions about life. I just think the world would probably be a bit of a better place, like if we all cared enough to think a bit more. And I think individually we'd probably be better too, like if we thought more about ourselves, each other, what we're here for. Do you know what I mean? But anyway, waffle. So I was been reading this book, and I haven't gone far. Shame. So I was supposed to actually go far with this book so that I could share it with you guys. But I haven't gone far. But it's fine, because I've only got 30 minutes anyway. Anyway, so this book, Making Sense of Life, yeah. So I've been reading it. I got it from where did I get it from? I got it from a, I wouldn't call it an event. I just went somewhere at my uni, and they were doing a talk, kind of. I don't know what to call it, a conference, a talk, something. It wasn't long or anything, but it was on like I don't know whether to call it like, was it like, is Jesus real, or is the Bible, yeah, like is the Bible factual? Like, can you believe it? Um but anyway, so they gave out a bunch of books there like for free, and so I picked up this one, and it's called Making Sense of Life by Michael Oates. Let me just go to a few of the things I picked up in this book. Yeah, I'm gonna put this here so I can open up the book, but I like holding it, I'm not gonna lie. Now I really hope the sound is not worse, and if it is, I'm sorry to myself, not even you lot. I'm sorry to myself, because I hate when things like that happen. But I'm probably gonna take it off soon anyway, because I don't trust it here. Okay, so let's just go to like one of the few things I saw in this book. Yeah, I just think this stuff is really interesting, and I just like talking about interesting things. Anyway, so the book in general, I think, is just questions. It's like it's in the title. It's making sense of life. Like, what does life mean? And like, I think when I read this book, it kind of made me have interest in like thoughts that people who don't believe in like a creator or a purpose of life have, right? And like, I definitely want to do an episode on its own about that, like thoughts, the mind of an atheist. That's the only thing I can call it, innit? And even like on my phone, I actually wrote down a couple things that I was thinking about when it came to like the mind of atheists. But I think let me just save that for another episode, because I just feel like it's a good one to talk about, or to a lot of thoughts that people have. There's answers, but then there's no answers, and I think it's okay to not have answers to certain things. Anyway, waffle. Let's get to some of the things. So basically, okay, so as I was reading this, yeah, so I came across this part, and in the book it says, the utter brokenness of the world causes others to question what life is about. Also, another thing that links to that is when life circumstances cause us to start asking some of the bigger questions, does our view of the world give us answers? Now, here's my question, right, to people who don't believe in a creator, because I believe in a creator, if it's not clear already. I believe in God. Furthermore, I believe in Jesus, and that's like a whole, like a not even separate. But I think once you acknowledge a creator, the question is, what do you do with that? And what did I do with that is Jesus. I want to know Jesus, right? But a lot of people, they stop at like, oh, there's a creator. And then a lot of people don't get to into a creator. And fascinating, I was thinking to myself, I was like, why do people, like, some people, a lot of people actually refuse to believe in a creator? Like, it almost feels like they're fighting it, right? And I know why. I think I know why, actually. I think, let me get my geek glasses first. Because it's about to be Mrs. Demi up here. But I think that the reason most people, like, I don't trust this. I'm so sorry. Let me take this off. I think the reason most people don't even like to acknowledge the existence of a creator is because they probably find that once you acknowledge the existence of a creator and a purpose, and that you have a almost mission to fulfill or something, like you're here for a reason, there's certain responsibility that comes with it that I don't think a lot of people are ready for. And that responsibility often leads into um, a lot of people, it's like getting into picking a religion, quote unquote. So a lot of people, they go, I'm here for a reason. Is there a purpose? Is there a creator? Now I believe there's a creator. What do I do now? Do I believe in Buddhism? Do I believe in Christianity? Do I believe in Hinduism, Islam? Do you know what I mean? So it's like they start off with acknowledging there's a creator and end with, I believe in this and this is how I live my life. But a lot of people don't want to get there. Or a lot of people don't even want to get to the creator part. I speak to people and they talk about like I don't know, they talk about like, you know, they believe that like the world is, you know, you believe what you believe and I believe what I believe, but like there's no one truth. And I find that odd. Like, you might as well be living in a matrix. That's another thing I want to talk about, but another episode again. Like, this is just very introductory because there's many things that's on my mind. But yeah, like you might as well live in a damn matrix. I just don't understand how. I understand how, and that's actually what I think is great about like me sharing stuff like this, or like me talking about this, is because I completely understand why everyone thinks the way everyone thinks. But I just think that the world is a terrible place if we all thought that we all lived under our perceptions of things. I don't even know if that makes sense, but I'm just trying to get the fact that the world wouldn't make much sense if we all felt as though there was no truth and right and wrong. And do you know what I mean? And every single person believes in right and wrong. Where did you get your right and wrong from? If you all would live under your own perceptions, how can there be a moral standpoint? There isn't. And so you then come to the question, okay, is there a creator? I mean, there has to be. Like, it. If there, let's look at it like this. This is the way the book put it, and I think it was so interesting. Well, this is how I think he was trying to phrase it, right? Say there's no creator. When it comes to feelings, when it comes to the real like brokenness of life and the real happiness of life, when it comes to purpose, when it comes to why you're here, when it not even why you're here, when it comes to like why you do what you do, why do you go to work, why do you raise a family, why do you do all these things if you're plainly just happenstance, like your existence is a result of accident and like absolutely no meaning. Do you know what I mean? Because every single person on this earth applies meaning to their life, or they try to apply meaning to their life. So then as you keep going and you apply meaning to your life, yet you feel as though life itself was, you know, a bundle of accident, like, doesn't make sense. Think about it like this as well. Humans and animals, if you look at us, there's a clear separation. As humans, our cognitive processes, like, we live our life beyond just instincts, and I think animals just live their lives instinctually, and that's why animals don't have the moral thing of, oh, that I'm a cheetah, I need my food, I'm not gonna kill that gazelle though. That, I don't know what a gazelle is, but I'm not gonna kill that gazelle because that's not nice, even though I'm hungry though. Yeah, so it's like you can't then like act as it, you can't really say that we were all like a whole accident, but like yeah, we're clearly very different from animals. Do you know what I mean? I think there's many reasons why ignoring the existence of a creator is probably like ignoring the existence of humans. Without God, there's almost no human purpose. There's no human existence. There's no need for us. Like, we could have had a world full of instinctual animals. I don't know. But yeah, so oh, and it also basically, so another part, yeah, that I saw in this book, and it was talking about, this is the sentence, and then I'll tell you what like I saw or thought about when I was reading it. So it says, so much of our identity is bound up within our job. What do you do? When we don't have anything to do, who are we then? And I was talking to someone and I was asking them, I was like, okay, as humans, yeah, if you had nothing to do, and when I say nothing to do, I mean nothing to do, like you had nothing to chase, nothing to live for, nothing, like you were still living, obviously, like you were here, but you had nothing to do. And it's not like you're handicapped and you can't do anything, but you had nothing to look forward to. Who are you? Do you know what I mean? So the question's a tricky question because it's like, what do you mean, who are you if you had nothing to do? But the question is what the question is, like, if I'm not in uni, but I'm also not working. I'm also not building. I'm also not, like, I'm looking forward to absolutely nothing. I just exist. I could sit here reading a book and that's fine, but there's no purpose to me doing anything that I do, right? And I feel like as humans, sometimes I think, are we just what we do? Like, are we what we do? Like, are we our purpose? Are we? And I think we are our purpose, realistically, because I just think humans without purpose aren't really humans. I personally don't think. Um, but I just thought that was interesting. Oh, and the book also talks about materialism. It said that materialism is the belief that matter is ultimately all that exists. But like our current world just doesn't support that. It really doesn't. Now, there's something else that I was discussing, yeah. And it was from a small sentence I saw in this book, and it was that all men are made equal. And I thought that is so interesting. Think back, way back, yeah. When we were created, which is what I believe. So if you don't believe that we were created, for a second, open your mind up to the idea that we were created. So when we were created, when we came about, or yeah, so when we were created, all men were created equally. Everything was created equally. Like everything, I would just like, it's just kind of like there's no value placed on anything yet. So everything is equal. How did the world become so unequal? Because men were all created equally. Um, and so even when you just think about that sentence, were men created equally, you also come to the conclusion that, you know what, if we were or if we weren't, how things probably started off and how things ended here, I think is two completely different like movies, like two different things. Um, and when you think about it, I was thinking about two things. I was thinking about one, is it possible for everyone to not to like have everything? Like, is it possible for the world to be equal in the sense of there's no poor and rich, there's just equal, there's just everyone is just everyone has what they need, that's what I mean, yeah. Like like, is it possible for the world just to be a place where everyone has what they need, no one has too much, no one has too little? And I was talking with someone about that, and my answer was no in at first. So is it possible? I still think no. I don't really know, but we're not here to say what we know for fact. It's like just questions and whatever. But yeah, and my standpoint was no, because when you think about it, when the world was created, like, you've got like coal in certain countries, or certain, let's not say countries, right? Because when the world was created, there wasn't countries per se. So you've got coal in certain parts of the globe that isn't in other parts, and you've got like strawberries that's in certain parts that isn't in other parts. And so, like, in my brain, I thought, oh, okay, so, like, it's not really possible for, in the beginning, like, everyone to have the resources that they need. Like, it's in some places and it's not in other places. And then I also moved on. So then there needs to be a way to distribute that, right? And to distribute that fairly. And so if we all stayed with what we were given when the world was created, people probably wouldn't have everything that they like. You wouldn't have everything that you require. Basically, we need to distribute it, basically, right? And then I thought, okay, so that, like, trying to distribute, that's where, like, money probably came from, because money is genuinely just value placed on things as a means of giving everyone what they deserve. I think money was originally created to give everyone what they earned, you know what I mean, or what they need, what they worked for, like, give everyone an equal value of what they had. So if I have money that's worth $10, what I buy with that money, or what I obtain as a result of, trading in my money, should be worth my money. It should be worth my $10, right? And so I fairly obtained that thing because I gave in the equal value for it. And so my friend next to me, if they have something worth $5, it's because they fairly obtained their $5. I did not unjustly obtain my $10 worth apple because just because they have a $5 worth apple. I had my 10 and my 5. And then it begs the question, okay, but why do you have more than them? How did it not become equal? And I guess that's where the unjustness, corruption, unfairness of money came in. Because if everyone was given $5, I was thinking about it like this, like, what probably happened was that, like, everyone was given $5, and everyone was in a circle, and in the middle, I'm just going to use a circle, and in the middle of the circle was a bunch of supplies, and so everyone came and took. There was a supplies enough for everyone, right? Well, multiple enough for everyone, and everyone had their own supplies. And then when people started placing value on their supplies, so everyone's got money and everyone's got supplies, but now some people have placed value on their supplies. And I think the world is just sometimes treated as a mind game. And I think that people that are aware of the purpose of life, people that are aware of the things that go beyond humans, use that to their advantage. It's kind of like the Mandela effect thing. Yeah, I saw it, and it was talking about they're trying to see how far they can go with erasing our memory of time, like, or erasing, like, our erasing history, erasing the past, right? And so they will, like, remove certain things slowly in history, and convince you that it was never there. And it's like that. Like, sometimes life is kind of treated like just one big mind game. Where was I going with that? And so people probably were playing that kind of a mind game where it's like, okay, well, I've got this fork and I've got $20. Everyone else has got $20, but I've got a fork. She has an apple, he has a ball. Because I say so, feel like my fork is worth $40. I also think my fork is the best thing in the industry. I think my fork is the best thing you can have in this life. My fork will help you with ABC. I'm going to sell my fork so everyone thinks that I have the best thing in the world. You know, when you're a kid, yeah, and you get something, yeah, and it's low-key crap, but you're going to try and make everyone think that it was, like, really cool. It's like that. Like, it's almost manipulation. And so I think people often did that. And then so someone will come along and say, you know what, I want that fork. They said it was worth $40. Now, in truth and in reality, that fork was given no value, and that fork was worth nothing. But someone comes over and they're like, you know what, I'm sold. The mind games worked on them. Like, I'm sold that I need that fork to live. I have to. So I'm gonna give you my 20, and now I owe you 20. You're in debt. They've got more money than you. You're poor, and you've got a fork that's worth nothing. But people can grow richer because I don't want to keep going because to be honest, I think it goes up and down. I could also not be making sense, but these are the things that go through my mind. That possibly is how it happened. Um, so that was one of the things. Why all men probably didn't turn out to be equal in the end. Is that kind of thing. It's a manipulation. I think when it comes to money, trading, business, all of it is mind games, and we all know that by now. And then the other thing I was thinking of was, what was I thinking of? I think that was what I was thinking of. I don't really know. I think that's more or less what I was thinking of. But yeah, that's just half of, not even half. That's like 5% of the many things I think about. I think next episode I definitely want to talk about like the mind of an atheist or just the mind of a person and the mind of a Christian. Like there's several things I want to talk about. I also want to talk about the Matrix. I think the Matrix is a really cool idea. And I watched the movie The Matrix for the first time and I thought, wow, this is really cool. Like in the sense of like how they think. But I also thought like it feels a bit silly. But anyway, there's many things I could talk about. I could talk you guys head off. But for now, I'll leave you lot. You guys leave me. And yeah, we'll talk soon. End of diary entry. See you later.